Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It's time again to review The Last of Us. This was episode 7. It was called Left Behind, but you could call it numerous things. You could call it DLC, you could call it filler, you could call it another LGBT episode, or you could call it simply the worst episode of Season 1 so far, because in my opinion, that's what it was. It wasn't very good. The pacing of the show is all over the place. We've only got 2 episodes left now to cover the remainder of the first game. And I'm just not happy with how this show's went. I think it started off really good. I think the first 2 episodes were great. But I do feel like since a long time, episode 3, since Bill took up the ass, I think this show has went downhill. And I will stick by that. Your thoughts on, first quick thoughts on the episode and overall season 1.
Easily the worst episode of the show, and you know what? It's not even like the Bill and Frank episode, which, like we said at the time, and loads of people think this opinion. If it was by itself, it was a decent episode, the Bill and Frank one. But see, in terms of the Last of Us story, it sucked. It was just forced in there. I think if you're looking at it as like standalone, it was alright.
Yeah, it was.
I actually didn't mind it.
My problem is it's a 9 episode season 1. You're having to fit the entire first game into 9 episodes, which would be very tough as it is. Then you factor in they've literally wasted 2 episodes with flashback stories that pretty much serve no purpose to the main story. And you can enjoy episodes. I don't think anyone truly enjoyed this episode. I don't think this episode was good. Episode 3, you can make a case for enjoying it, but even if you did enjoy episode 3, you can't deny at the end of the day it was filler. It didn't really serve any purpose. Bill died, he never met up with Joel and Ellie, therefore it was filler. So you take in the fact that 2 out of the 9 episodes are flashback stuff, and then you add in the new characters that weren't in the game, but they want to bring into the series. And it's like, what the fuck? Like Kathleen, for example. You know, Kathleen was in 2 episodes, whereas Henry and Sam were essentially only in 1. Yeah, they appeared at the end of episode 4, but let's be real, they were only in 1 episode. You've got this problem where they're literally dedicating pretty much an episode to each main character from the game, and you just can't get involved with a character. You cannot make a character great. You can't get emotionally involved with a character in just 1 episode. You look at all the best characters for TV history, and they've been around for seasons. It's like, let's look at Gus, for example, in Breaking Bad. He didn't get fucking 43 minutes. He didn't get 1 episode. The guy was spanned over about, let's say, well over 2 and a bit seasons. So again, I just don't think this Last of Us concept is working. When it first got announced, I'm sure I said that you could get 4 seasons out of the first game. People laughed. People said, "Oh no, that's way too much. They can wrap up the first game in a season." Well, now we've got to the stage where you feel like the game has been completely rushed. You know, you feel like Tess barely got any screen time. You feel like Henry and Sam didn't get any screen time. You didn't even get to see Bill meet up with Joel or Ellie. They've missed out so much action with the infected that we haven't gotten. We haven't got any of the stuff with like bandits or anything like that. We haven't got really any meaningful scenes with Ellie and Joel, or Joel, you know, trying to teach Ellie how to swim and all this shit. We haven't seen any of that. And now we've got 2 episodes left and they need to do the finale, which is going to be the shortest episode of the series. Plus, they still need to do the whole Ellie rescuing Joel, looking after Joel, and then meeting David, and it's just not enough time. There's 2 episodes left. The pacing's completely out the window. And season 1 needed to be longer, or they needed to split the game into multiple seasons.
Yes, but back to my point. At least with the episode 3, you actually got a timeline of like the actual apocalypse. You got the start, you got a few years in, you actually shown you a story arc, so to speak. See, in this episode, it's literally Ellie and Riley messing about in a mall for 45 minutes. And then, in terms of what actually we get either side of it, right? She puts Joel down, There's a horse. She runs up the stairs. Cut back to the end of the episode. Bit of Fred. Sorts him out a wee bit. It ends. Have I not just wrapped up the episode?
That's pretty much it. Now, in the DLC constantly switched between the past with Ellie and Riley, and then the current with Ellie going out for supplies, trying to find medicine for Joel. We didn't get that. We didn't get Ellie going out. We got like literally maybe of total screen time less than a minute of the current stuff, and the rest of it, like 98% of it, was the flashback stuff with Ellie and Riley, and I just didn't like it. And again, they're saying this is character development. It's important for Ellie. Is it really important, or did they just want to have a lesbian kiss scene? I mean, is that really what we wasted?
An underage lesbian kiss scene. Riley, the pedo.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. If you think that the actress that plays Ellie looks deformed and, I mean, just doesn't look like Ellie, you've got everyone on the left saying, oh, you're creepy, you're saying she's too ugly to play a child character, yet these are the people that are pushing and wanting to sexualise children. So, I mean, you know, whose side would you rather be on here? It's embarrassing, man. That you know, they said, "Oh, what's that? You're a creep for saying she's ugly." Yeah, you know, they're wanting to see fucking two underage children. You know,
there's ugly, then there's deformed.
But what I don't even understand. Like, why do they have to go down this route? I mean, why can't they just be friends?
I know.
Is that not enough?
Because see, looking at it, right? She's obviously a few years older than her, and she's like got about 3 foot in height on her. It's just weird. Honestly, it was weird. It was more weirder than Bill and Frank. That was weird.
Right.
All scene and all.
Anyway, let's quickly go through the episode. I'm not going to waste long discussing it or breaking it down, because honestly, not a lot happened. If we're being completely honest, we start off with
Captain Wong.
With Ellie. She's in her school days. She gets in a fight with someone who basically mocks her for, you know, her friend being gone. Riley's not there anymore, so she gets in a fight, gives her 15 stitches. Ellie gets a black eye. She then goes and sits down with Captain Wong, who I guess is kind of like the leader of this section, and he basically tells Ellie, look, you're a smart kid, but you're fucking dumb, and there's two ways this can go. You can essentially end up a bum, or you can take the other route and become a leader like me. So there you go. Ellie then says she's going to, you know, stay out of trouble, all this stuff. Then later that night, Ellie falls asleep. She gets attacked in her room. We think it's maybe by Bethany, but it turns out it's Riley, her friend who ran away. Ellie says, I should stab you. We get a little bit of back and forward. Then Riley asks Ellie to come away with her, and Riley then announces the fact that she's now become a Firefly.
I'm a Firefly, and I've got a gun, Ellie. Brilliant. Didn't actually mean become one though, did I? No.
Ellie's like, well, I've just been learning today how to kill fireflies. I've got killing firefly training soon. Riley says, look, just come with me. I need to show you something. It'll be the best night of your life. So they do some jumping over rooftops. They do some sneaking about. I guess they escape the area that Ellie's based in or whatever. And they get to the mall. And what I will say is, I mean, the scenery in the mall was pretty cool. I thought when it looked up the location, it did look, graphics wise, whatever. It looked fine.
It's aesthetically pleasing. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, the mall did look good. I think it was like Ellie's first time ever being in the mall, with it being lit up, of course, and she's seen like escalators for the first time, so she's like freaked out by all this. There's a weird scene where they're like looking at the window of like Ann Summers, and like Riley's saying, oh, you know, this that underwear would look great on you, and it's just fucking weird. Play some video games, play some Mortal Kombat. They ride the carousel. They do all this stuff, and it's like they wasted way too much time doing the fun stuff. By the time we get to the action part of the episode, I mean, it literally lasted for a couple of minutes.
All this stuff could have been wrapped up within 7 minutes.
They go to like a photo booth. They get photos. They do other they do other poses and all this stuff. Riley then says that she wanted Ellie to become a Firefly with her, but the old bitch Marlene said no, and that Riley is moving away. She's getting sent to another location. So tonight is basically her last night here. That's why she wanted to make it a memorable one. They've been drinking. Ellie's annoyed. She storms off that Riley's leaving her. Riley then activates some horror game, and Ellie thinks she's in trouble because there's someone like pleading for help, but then she finds out it's just a game. They then sit down a bit and
dance. We put masks on top of the glass cabinet thing.
They put masks on, they're dancing. Ellie then kisses Riley. She says she's sorry. Riley says sorry for what? And you know, it's like, what the fuck, really? That's what this whole episode was about. You know, they had to just throw away an entire episode, take another episode out of the actual story just so they could promote LGBT stuff. I mean, come on, we've had...
Why couldn't I just stay at best friends? Was that too much to ask?
You know, I mean, Joel and Tess are actually in a relationship, and you'd never you would never be able to tell that based on what we've seen in the show.
Fucking absolutely.
We didn't see any sort of like romance between the two of them.
That clicker got more off Tess.
But you know, but we get Bill and Frank making love to each other for a full episode. We get Riley.
You got the Frankfurter, brother.
And you know, we get Riley and Ellie this episode. Then, of course, in the last episode, they've race swapped Tommy's wife. So, of course, you know, we get a scene where, oh, look at that, we got married. But and what the Tess and Joe get absolutely nothing. We then get a runner. So we get, I think it's the first time, not the first time, but. It's like, and let's be honest, there's not been many infected in this season 1 at all.
Riley can't shoot.
So she tries to shoot. The runner takes them down. The runner, they're you know, engaging. They're like, you know, fighting with the runner. Ellie eventually stabs it, but she looks down at her arm. She's been bitten. Starts freaking out. Riley looks at her hand. She's been bitten too. And Ellie then starts smashing things up. Riley says that, you know, this sucks, and she basically goes over options. She says that, you know, we can take the coward's way out, but she doesn't like that way, or we can just wait it out and essentially wait to turn. So they accept that's what they're going to do. Ellie rests her head on Riley, and then that's it. That is it. And I could not believe that was at the end of the episode. Honestly, I mean, in the game, there was this like big, massive chase scene where there's like loads of infected, and they get chased to the roof, and they're having to like climb through them all and all this stuff to escape them. I mean, but we didn't get that in this episode. We literally got like a small brawl.
With one infected?
With one infected. In the DLC game, there was loads of infected. And in the DLC game, now, this portion of the DLC, the part where Ellie is with Riley, yeah, it was mostly exploring them all and doing fun stuff up until the end, but that's because it was constantly switching between that and Ellie having to go out and look for supplies, look for medicine for Joel, and then you got action. She also had to go out and try and get food as well, so you had your sort of action with the present, and then you had your sort of, you know, fun exploring them all with the past. But because they pretty much done away with all the present stuff, they just gave you them all stuff, and quite frankly, it was pretty boring.
It was. It just sucked. Absolute waste of 45 minutes.
So, yeah, not only was it filler, it was...
No, but see another thing, right? We didn't even see, like, a conclusion to it. But did Riley turn? Well, obviously she must have turned and Ellie didn't. So is that going to waste another half an hour in the next episode?
Why didn't they add that in?
I know.
Imagine Ellie actually... Imagine it, like, something like Riley could have turned and Ellie didn't, then Ellie had to put her down. That would have been pretty good. Although, well, I don't...
Pretty good.
Well,
shit.
I just didn't like. I thought it was like, I thought it was a really poor episode. I've seen IGN rate it 9 out of 10. let's be real, man. The only reason they're rating a 9 out of 10 is because both these characters are lesbians. That is it. That is 100% it.
That's it.
I mean, if Ellie is running...
Ellie went for a kiss and Riley just fucking up a car and went, I ain't no homo.
Or if it was Ellie and Robert, then this episode does not get a 9 out of 10. Just boring, and again...
Robert.
I feel like...
Alex Riley.
I just feel like it's like the momentum of the show. I think the first 2 episodes were great, and then you had the 3rd episode that was complete filler. And now it's like, you know, the show's trying to pick up pace a little bit again, and you get another filler episode. They've literally put 2 filler episodes for the sake of the LGBT community in a 9-episode season. And it's derailed.
I'm sorry, right? We can't label this as filler. This was worse than filler.
Well, no, I think episode 3 was good filler.
This was
pretty bad.
Normally, when you get filler on a TV show, you get like all the characters, and it's still alright. But in this, you're like, there's no Joel. He's lying on the floor doing nothing.
But what I will say is, I still think it was better than any episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Thought it was... Yeah, I didn't think it was great, if I'm
giving
honest.
it a 2, honestly. Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.
So there you go, guys. 3 out of 10. That's our rating for this episode. Really disappointed. We've only 2 episodes left. I've seen a lot of people commenting saying that, well, you only need 2 episodes because all we've got now is the David part and the ending. I mean, do these people even fucking play the game? I mean, the game was the game took ages. There was so much cutscenes and dialogue in the game. There was so much action in the game. There was so many, like, bad people, so many infected people. Like, if you played the game and you weren't doing, like, a speed run...
I played the game.
It would take you longer to complete the game than it would finish the TV series, and the TV series has got a lot of, you know, random crap pushed into it that shouldn't even be there. I mean, the pacing's all off. 9 episodes isn't enough, and it does feel rushed, and I just don't see how they're going to finish the first game with 2 episodes remaining, and for me to think, you know what, that was great.
They're not. They're definitely not. I don't see... Like, at one point, it was almost like they were doing it... It's like we say. One point, it's rushed. Next point, it's complete and utterly dragged out.
I know.
I don't understand it. Part of the Labrador, but
anyway, we're not gonna drag out this review any longer, guys. We're giving it a 3 out of 10. That's it. Let us know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. Until then, though, peace.